The lunch tray crashed to the floor with a deafening clatter. Chocolate milk splattered across Maya's brand new white sneakers as three seniors towered over her, their laughter echoing through the cafeteria like broken glass. "Oops," sneered Jessica, the ringleader with her perfectly straightened blonde hair and cruel smile. "Looks like the new girl needs to learn how to walk." But what they didn't know was that Maya Chen had been walking differently her whole life. She'd been walking the path of discipline, respect, and deadly precision. She was a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo, and these bullies had just made the biggest mistake of their high school careers. Before we continue, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. This shows you love our stories. Now, let's continue. Maya stood there for a moment, her dark eyes scanning the faces around her. The entire cafeteria had gone silent, 200 pairs of eyes watching to see how the quiet new girl would react. Her hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the effort it took to control herself. "You know what?" she said softly, her voice barely above a whisper. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." Tyler, Jessica's boyfriend and the star quarterback, stepped forward with a smirk. "Oh, really? And what's that supposed to mean, freak?" He was 6'2", built like a brick wall, and used to getting his way through intimidation. Behind him stood Marcus, his best friend since kindergarten, cracking his knuckles like he was preparing for a fight. Maya bent down slowly and picked up her fallen sandwich, her movements fluid and controlled. "It means," she said, still speaking in that same quiet tone, "that you think I'm someone you can push around." She looked up at them with eyes that held depths they couldn't understand. "But I'm not." Jessica laughed, a sound like nails on a chalkboard. "Listen to this girl acting all tough. What are you gonna do, karate chop us?" The crowd around them began to murmur, some laughing along with Jessica, others looking uncomfortable. "Actually," Maya said finally, allowing a small smile to cross her face, "it's Taekwondo, but close enough." She set her sandwich down gently on the nearest table. "And I'm not going to do anything unless you make me." That's when Tyler made his first mistake. He reached out to shove Maya backwards, expecting her to stumble like any normal 17-year-old girl would. But Maya wasn't normal. She had been training since she was 5 years old, under Master Kim, a former Olympic champion who saw something special in the quiet little girl with the fierce determination. Maya's hand moved so fast it was almost invisible. She caught Tyler's wrist in a grip that made him gasp in surprise, his eyes widening as he realized he couldn't move his arm. "The thing about bullies," she said conversationally, as if she wasn't currently applying a joint lock that could break his wrist if she wanted, "is that they never expect their victims to fight back." "Let go of me," Tyler hissed, his face turning red as he tried to pull away. But Maya's grip was like iron, and every movement he made only increased the pressure on his wrist. "I will," Maya said calmly, "right after you apologize." The cafeteria was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. Students were pulling out their phones, recording what was already becoming the most talked about incident in Roosevelt High's history.
"I'm not apologizing to some freak," Tyler spat, though his voice was strained with pain. That's when he made his second mistake. He tried to punch Maya with his free hand. Maya released his wrist and stepped back in one fluid motion. Tyler's punch sailed through empty air, and his momentum carried him forward, right into Maya's perfectly executed palm strike to his solar plexus. The big quarterback doubled over, gasping for air, unable to speak. "Tyler!" Jessica screamed, her voice cracking with shock. She had never seen her boyfriend, the toughest guy in school, brought down by anyone, let alone a girl who barely came up to his shoulder. Marcus, seeing his best friend on the ground, charged at Maya with all the grace of an angry rhinoceros. "You're gonna pay for that," he roared, swinging wildly. But Maya had been sparring with grown men twice her size since she was 12. She ducked under his haymaker and swept his legs out from under him with a move so smooth it looked like dancing. Marcus hit the floor hard, his head spinning as he tried to figure out what had just happened. "How did you?" he started to say, but Maya was already helping Tyler back to his feet. "Are you okay?" she asked, her voice genuinely concerned. "I didn't want to hurt you, but you gave me no choice." Tyler stared at her in confusion, still trying to catch his breath. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. The new girl was supposed to cry, maybe run to a teacher, not take down two of the toughest guys in school like they were kindergartners. Jessica was backing away now, her earlier confidence completely gone. "You're crazy," she whispered. "You're absolutely crazy." But there was something else in her voice now, something Maya recognized: fear. "No," Maya said, shaking her head. "I'm trained. There's a difference." She looked around at the circle of students, many of whom were still recording. "I've been studying martial arts for 12 years. My master always told me that the greatest victory is the one that doesn't require fighting. But sometimes," she glanced back at Tyler and Marcus, who were both still on the ground, "sometimes people don't give you a choice." That's when Vice Principal Morrison pushed through the crowd, his face red with anger. "What is going on here?" he bellowed, looking at the scene of destruction. Food scattered across the floor, 2 students down, and one small girl standing in the middle of it all, looking perfectly calm. "She attacked us!" Jessica immediately started screaming, pointing at Maya. "She's some kind of psycho. She just started hitting people for no reason." Maya didn't say anything. She just stood there, her hands at her sides, waiting. She had learned long ago that the truth had a way of coming out, especially when there were 200 witnesses with camera phones. "Is that true?" Morrison asked Maya, his voice stern. He had been dealing with troubled students for 20 years, and he knew how to spot a troublemaker. But something about this girl didn't fit the profile. "No, sir," Maya said quietly. "They knocked my lunch tray out of my hands and were trying to intimidate me. I defended myself when they became physical." "She's lying." Tyler had finally found his voice, though he was still breathing heavily. "We were just joking around and she went psycho on us." Morrison looked around at the crowd of students. Did anyone see what happened? Immediately, dozens of hands went up. He pointed to a girl near the front. "You tell me what you saw."
Sarah Chen, no relation to Maya despite the shared last name, spoke up clearly. "Jessica knocked the new girl's tray out of her hands on purpose. Then Tyler tried to push her and she grabbed his wrist. When he tried to hit her, she defended herself. Marcus tried to attack her too and she put him on the ground. She didn't start anything, Mr. Morrison. She was just trying to eat her lunch." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Morrison held up his hand for silence. "Anyone see it differently?" No one spoke up. He looked back at Maya, studying her face. "What's your name, young lady?" "Maya Chen, sir. I just transferred here from California yesterday." Morrison nodded slowly. "And you're telling me you have martial arts training?" "Yes, sir. 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've been training since I was 5. Maya reached into her backpack and pulled out a small wallet. From it, she extracted a laminated card and handed it to Morrison. "That's my certification from the World Taekwondo Federation." Morrison examined the card carefully. It was legitimate, complete with official seals and signatures. "Says here you're certified to teach." He looked up at Maya with new respect. "That's quite an accomplishment for someone your age." "My master always said that with great power comes great responsibility," Maya replied. "I never wanted to use my training to hurt anyone, but I also won't let anyone hurt me." "She could have killed us!" Marcus was back on his feet now, though he was keeping his distance. "You can't let her get away with this." Morrison turned to face the 3 bullies, his expression hard. "From what I'm hearing, you 3 initiated a confrontation with a new student, destroyed her lunch, and then physically assaulted her. The fact that she was able to defend herself doesn't make her the aggressor." He looked at Tyler specifically. "You tried to hit her first, son. That makes you the attacker in this situation." Jessica's face was turning red. "But she's the one who hurt them. Look at them." "I'm looking," Morrison said dryly, "and what I see are 2 young men who learned that actions have consequences. Maya, I'm going to need you to come to my office so we can fill out an incident report. You three, he pointed at the bullies, will be serving detention for the next 2 weeks, and if I hear about any retaliation against Maya, it'll be suspension. As the crowd began to disperse, Maya gathered her things quietly. She could hear the whispers starting already. Did you see how fast she moved? She took down Tyler like he was nothing. I heard she's some kind of ninja. But there was one voice that stood out from the rest. Hey, Maya. She turned to see a girl about her own age approaching. The girl had curly red hair and kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. I'm Emma. I just wanted to say that was amazing what you did. Those three have been terrorizing freshmen and sophomores for years. It's about time someone stood up to them. Maya smiled, her first genuine smile since arriving at Roosevelt High. I didn't want to fight them, I really didn't, but my master always taught me that sometimes you have to stand up to bullies or they'll just keep hurting other people. Your master sounds wise, Emma said. Hey, do you want to sit with me and my friends at lunch tomorrow? We're kind of the outcasts, but we're fun outcasts. I'd like that, Maya said, feeling some of the tension leave her shoulders.
Maybe this school wouldn't be so bad after all. But the story wasn't over. Word of the cafeteria incident spread through Roosevelt High like wildfire. By the end of the day, Maya had become something of a legend. Students she'd never met were nodding to her in the hallways with respect. Teachers who had heard the story were looking at her with new interest. However, not everyone was happy about Maya's newfound reputation. Jessica, Tyler, and Marcus were seething with humiliation. They had been the kings and queen of the school hierarchy, and now they were a laughingstock. Every time they walked down the hall, they could hear the whispers and see the smirks. This isn't over, Jessica hissed to her friends during detention that afternoon. Nobody makes me look like an idiot and gets away with it. What are you thinking? Tyler asked, his wrists still sore from Maya's grip. I'm thinking we need to find out more about Miss Perfect. Everyone has secrets, everyone has weaknesses. We just need to find hers. What they found surprised them. Maya Chen wasn't just any transfer student. She was the daughter of Dr. James Chen, a renowned surgeon who had moved his family to town to take over as head of surgery at the local hospital. Maya's mother, Linda, was a successful architect who had designed several prominent buildings in their previous city. But more importantly, they discovered why Maya had transferred schools in the middle of her senior year. It wasn't because of her father's job, it was because of an incident at her previous school, an incident that Maya had hoped to leave behind. Jessica smiled when she found the news article online. 17-year-old student hospitalized after martial arts demonstration goes wrong. The article was brief, but it told enough of the story. Maya had been demonstrating self-defense techniques at a school assembly when something had gone wrong. Another student had been seriously injured. This is it, Jessica whispered to herself. This is how we destroy her. The next day, Maya was feeling optimistic. She had eaten lunch with Emma and her friends, who turned out to be a group of theater kids, honor students, and band members. They were kind, funny, and genuinely interesting to talk to. For the first time since moving, Maya felt like she might actually fit in somewhere. That feeling lasted until she walked into her AP history class and found Jessica waiting for her with a printed copy of the news article. "Well, well, well," Jessica said loudly enough for the whole class to hear. "Look what I found about our little karate kid." She held up the paper. "Turns out Maya isn't quite the hero everyone thinks she is." Maya's stomach dropped as she saw the headline. She had hoped that chapter of her life was closed forever. "Jessica, please don't," she said quietly. "Don't tell everyone the truth." Jessica's voice was getting louder, drawing more attention. "Don't tell them that you put a kid in the hospital back in California, that you're not some noble defender, but just another violent freak." The class was completely silent now, everyone staring at Maya. She could feel her cheeks burning with shame. "It wasn't like that," she whispered. "Then what was it like? Jessica demanded, standing up from her desk. "Because according to this article, you broke some poor kid's ribs during a demonstration. Some demonstration of control, huh?" Maya closed her eyes, remembering that terrible day 6 months ago. "His name was David," she said softly. "David Martinez. He was a sophomore, and he volunteered to help me demonstrate some basic self-defense moves at an assembly. I had done the demonstration dozens of times before. It was supposed to be simple, safe. But it wasn't safe, was it?" Jessica pressed, sensing blood in the water. "No," Maya admitted, her voice barely audible. "It wasn't. David was nervous, and when I went to demonstrate a throw, he moved wrong. Instead of falling safely, he landed on his side. I heard the crack when his ribs broke." She opened her eyes, and there were tears there. "He was in the hospital for 2 weeks, 2 broken ribs and a punctured lung." The class was deathly quiet. Even Jessica seemed taken aback by the raw emotion in Maya's voice. "Every night for 6 months, I had nightmares about it," Maya continued. "I quit competing. I almost quit training altogether. David could have died because of my mistake, because I wasn't careful enough, because I wasn't good enough to protect him, even during a simple demonstration." "So you are dangerous," Jessica said, but there was less venom in her voice now. "Yes," Maya said, looking directly at her. "I am dangerous. That's why I try so hard to control myself. That's why I didn't want to fight you yesterday, because I know what I'm capable of, and I know how badly things can go wrong." She wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. "David forgave me eventually. His parents forgave me, but I never forgave myself." Mr. Henderson, the history teacher, finally spoke up. "Maya, thank you for sharing that with us. I think it takes real courage to admit our mistakes and learn from them." But Jessica wasn't done. "So what you're saying is that you're a walking weapon who can't even control herself properly, and we're supposed to feel safe around you?" That's when Emma stood up from her seat in the back of the room. "You know what, Jessica?
I feel a lot safer around Maya than I do around you." Her voice was shaking, but she pressed on. "Maya made a mistake, a terrible accident that she clearly feels awful about. But you deliberately try to hurt people every single day. You and your friends have made this school a miserable place for anyone who doesn't fit your narrow definition of cool." "Nobody asked you, theater geek," Jessica snapped. "No, but I'm talking anyway," Emma shot back. "You want to know the difference between Maya and you? When she hurts someone, even by accident, it destroys her. When you hurt someone, you laugh about it." Other students began to murmur agreement. Jessica looked around and realized that the tide had turned against her. The story she thought would destroy Maya had instead revealed her own cruelty. "Whatever," Jessica said, slumping back into her seat. "You're all freaks anyway." But the damage was done, just not in the way Jessica had intended. Maya's honesty about her past mistake had actually made her more relatable, not less. Students began approaching her throughout the day, not with fear, but with respect for her vulnerability. The bullies had indeed picked on the wrong girl, not because she was a deadly black belt, but because she was someone who refused to let fear or past failures define her future. Someone who understood that true power came from lifting others up, not tearing them down. If you enjoyed this story of transformation, redemption, and the power of standing up for what's right, please like this video and subscribe for more captivating stories that will inspire you to be the change you want to see in the world. Remember, we all have the power to make a difference, one choice at a time.